doing voiceover work for the cartoon Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, and he was also in the film, in 2003 film, Latter Days. And, you know, I really couldn't find too much about him. I'm unsure if he was in other things, but according to his IMDb page, that's pretty much all the info we got. I would like to have said a lot more, but, you know, he made a short little bit of information about him. From
the Talking Dead, his main thing was, I guess, voiceovers for cartoons. He was in a lot of different things, but I guess the main thing was the voiceovers. So it was pretty cool to hear about that. And then the odd thing about King Ezekiel was, you know how he has like the long hair and everything, all that going for him. While in the Talking Dead, excuse me guys if it's a spoiler, but anyway, in the Talking Dead, he had shaved off his hair. He had kept a little bit of his beard, but he shaved off his hair. And I got to see a picture of him with his actual hair, which was pretty crazy. It was pretty oddballish to look at it. So it was kind of a trip, but it was pretty fun. So it's cool to be able to see the before and afters when you see the actors when they have like a big change like that. But you're right, as far as everything else goes, I don't know what else he was in.
Yeah, I only heard of them 2 voiceover jobs in that one movie. And on his IMDb page, how you were saying about how he had his head shaved. Yeah. Like, he looks like he could be a mean-looking dude in there with the bald head and the beard. He looks pretty mean in there.
Yeah. And then another thing that I like, what was pretty cool about him, he said something really interesting to Carol in the show. I don't know if we'll get to it later, but he said you got to fake it till you kind of make it. And I told Lisa that one time, joking with her. Lisa, you remember that? So it was like, I don't know. I say that once in a while, goofing around. And so it was pretty funny when I heard him say that. So basically, you know, the way he's portrayed in the show is like it's kind of weird because he is he is kind of a swindler basically, but he's playing like a king, right? So it was weird to see him when he broke it down to Carol. It was kind of a swindler kind of thing, you know. Though he was like, you know, people think that I wrestled the tiger and brought him home and all this, when basically he just saved the tiger. So it was pretty cool. So it was pretty amazing to see that. So let's get into your trivia real quick, but we'll get into more. We'll get into that. We'll get into more about that a little later, because it was pretty cool to watch that. It was pretty cool to watch that, and I know you got some good trivia, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, I was afraid of what I was going to say because I didn't want to give away any of the stuff that I was actually going to put as a trivia question. So I was kind of really watching my words when we were describing them, too. So, what would you like me to do the trivia questions now?
Yeah, you can. And then if you could write them in the chat, dude.
Okay, no problem. Okay, question number 1. This one should be an easy one for people. What was King Ezekiel's job before the apocalypse?
I already got it.
Yeah, that one should have been an easy one.
I know, I kind of just gave it away right now, huh?
Yeah, and then number 2 is still kind of easy, but you really had to catch it and listen to him. Number 2 is, other than zookeeper... Oh, man, I just gave away one answer. Dang.
Come on, dude. This is the podcast, man. You're supposed to be rolling.
That was inside my question, too. I didn't even think about when I wrote it down. But, okay, other than the mentioned job, what does King Ezekiel also have a background in? Okay. It also helps him with his persona. But that's the only hint I'll give on that one.
All right, I got that one already too. I didn't at first. At first, I thought you caught me on that one, but then I remember what he had talked about it because I had sent what he said he was kind of
Yeah, and it definitely helps with what he's doing. And number 3 might get some people because they really had to actually look, and it has nothing to do with the main story. But what was the house number on the mailbox where they found Carol at the beginning of the episode?
I kept trying to look, and I couldn't figure out what it was. Are you talking about when Morgan was writing the number on the mailbox, or the house number? Yeah, well, okay, I know what you're talking about now.
He scratched something on it, but it's actually it actually has like a real house number on the mailbox. What was the number? And I'm going to put them in trivia right now. The questions.
Okay, so make sure you write all those trivia questions down. There are actually some really good trivia.
I tried to slowly get harder. The first one was easy. One was a little bit harder than the third one. Some people, you really had to look to actually catch that one. And I kind of cheated. I already rewrote that down on a notepad on the computer, so I just have to copy and paste the questions.
I think the news was so exciting tonight. We had the news was so exciting. That's why I hit the I didn't switch the I didn't put TWD with TWD. It stood with Why the Blues. So I think that the news was so good that's why I did that. So we can blame it all on me. I am.
You were all excited, so it got me flustered a little bit too.
I'm all excited. I'm going to be honest with you. We finally got accepted to iHeart. We finally got accepted to iTunes. It's been forever that we've been working on it. I've been on iTunes. You could check. I've been on there for 5-6 years, longer. I think since 2007. We were checking the dates today. Since 2007. I've been on all these different iHeart, all these different stations. And finally, we were getting the podcast. And tonight was the first night we got approved. I have no clue. Out of the blue, it just happened. And, yeah, I was up all night last night. I told Patrick I was reading about it, trying to figure out why we were having the problem with it. And still couldn't figure it out. And then all of a sudden today, I'm loading up, and it automatically does it. So things just work in mysterious ways. The world just opens up to you. When you're good to people, good things happen back. Correct, Patrick, or no?
Exactly. Good things happen to good people.
I know. So right tonight, and then I was just so excited I didn't put it in that right category. So I hope that didn't jack it up. But but it's fine. So we got to get into the. We have to get into the actual TWD show, and we got to talk about it with everybody. The episode from this weekend. Okay, I said that I would say it, and if there's a reason why. I said that I didn't like this weekend's episode, but I said I would let everybody know why I didn't like this episode, because I'm not a Morgan and Carol fan. And they based it around Morgan and Carol, the two people that I don't really have any. I'm really not attached like Abe. I was so upset last week that Abe was, that happened to Abe and that happened to Glenn. But I don't have that same attachment to Carol and Morgan. How do you feel about those two? Before we get going.
Me personally, Morgan, once he started that philosophy, don't kill thing, don't kill nothing, that's when he really started to bother me.
Yeah.
My wife really likes Carol, but I seriously wish she would have died back in season 1 episode of Tell It to the Frogs. I wanted her gone since that episode. So. Neither one of them were really necessarily my favorites. But I actually thought, too, this is actually going ahead of it. Morgan, I really liked it when he was actually kind of the crazy guy.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of gave a little foreshadow of something that's in the comic coming up, a group called the Whisperers. Because when Rick was sitting there trying to talk to him, and say, you know, I mean, this is me, and he's like, you're wearing dead people's faces. And that's exactly what the Whisperers do. So I'm wondering if he actually ran into them earlier or ran into a smaller group of them, and that kind of helped him go crazy. And I actually like Crazy Morgan, but, you know, since then, neither one of them are necessarily my favorite characters.
Yeah, I don't know. The episode was okay. I watched it. I had turned it on. Me and Lisa were talking on the phone. I said, I'm going to watch it a little more while we were talking on the phone. And I told her she has to catch up with us on TWD. She's real busy, so she don't have a lot of time to, oh, Lisa, I just got the email. Your password came in, so I'll be texting that to you pretty soon. So basically, where do you see the concern is right now, knowing that the separation right now between Carol Morgan and the rest of the group, knowing what's going on, since the reason I'm asking you this, because Carol and Morgan still don't know that the group is in such a terrible spot.
I think Carol's actually starting to fall back in her old ways, because, like, when she started wheeling herself around the episode, she was putting on that fake facade of being the nice housekeeper type lady and stuff like that. But then throughout the whole episode, you see her, she stole, like, the knife off the table, and then she starts stealing the clothes and stuff like that. And, you know, I think when she finds out that the other people are that brutally killed, I think it's going to snap her back into, like, serial killer Carol going.
Okay.
And Morgan, I'm really hoping he's starting to break out of that no-kill thing, because even when, like, the Saviors started to fight during their exchange, he immediately pulled up that gun without even thinking about it. Then he had to look at the gun, and he put it away. But he's slowly starting to lose that mantra of no killing.
Yeah.
So hopefully they both snap out. I like them better when they're both, like, you know, fighting for him. I don't like that peaceful stuff from the two of them, but, you know, I'm kind of a brutal type of guy.
Yeah, so I see what you're saying there.
Like, you can't live in that world and be peaceful, because, you know, you just can't. And it's just, whether it's from zombies or if it's from another group, there's always something bad going on, and the nice people always seem to be the ones that die.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get into when they had him start training that young kid. Right away, we already knew that young kid was in for some deep trouble, because he couldn't defend himself early on, you know.
He started picking up that, what's it, Aikido, I think it's called. He started picking that up. He looked like he was getting it really good, too.
Yeah, but that's going to lead back to where Morgan's at, where Morgan has the non-belief and you know, he wants to spare life and everything like that. But we'll get more in that, because we got into that really deep way back in season 6. I think we got into a 2 podcasts. I think we had to do 2 podcasts of that, trying to figure out what the deal with Morgan and them were. So right now, this week we got coming up, it looks like from the previews, it's going to look in Daryl, you know, about his situation. But getting back to this last weekend, we finally got to meet King Zeke. And I don't like the name Zeke, because when I was growing up, my sisters used to call me Zeke. So, but with him, he looks cool as King Zeke, and I'd go for it, dude. If you want to be called King Zeke, go ahead. And Sheba,
hey man, if you can pull it off, do it.
It was so cool to finally meet Sheba. We've been hearing about it for a couple years now, actually, that the tiger was going to be coming on the show, and it was so fun to see it, and then to see the way King Zeke talks in metaphors and he talks in cliches. And then when he told Carol, he was just faking it, trying to make it till people believed in him. What was
like?
How'd you feel about the oddity of that? You know, knowing that he's saying his backstory came out. We're not going to talk about his back.